I was born to fish. I'm obsessed about being the complete angler. As a fishing journalist and photographer, I go to the greatest lengths to get the shot. Join me as I travel the world in search of fishing heaven. Barra! Oh, barra! Oh, yeah. This is the one thing I wanted to do more than anything. Until I hooked up. Wetting a line with some of the best fishers on the planet.
Absolute cracker, mate.
Oh yeah! The monster! In fishing, you have your good days and you have your bad days. Oh! Come on! Oh! This is the ultimate fishing bucket list. Except I'm fighting something bigger than a bucket. Fishing is much more than just catching fish.
Butterfingers.
It's about sharing the adventure with your mates. This has given a whole new meaning to fishing with mates. I'm McGlashan and this is Fishing with Mates. Woohoo! How many today? I've only got a couple of bags today. We're heading to Darwin. We're going fishing. This week I'm heading to the Northern Territory to sample some of the best fishing spots that Top End has to offer. From offshore sail fishing, have a look at that. Barra fishing croc-infested rivers, what's he got? And the difference between a gourmet chef and a big buffy fish cook.
July 2015, he's out of date.
My first stop in my Top End adventure is Bathurst Island. Now that's 140 kilometres offshore from Darwin, but we're actually fishing the Bathurst Trench. Now this is a canyon basically underwater, and it's a magnet for marlin and sailfish. The plan is to fly to Darwin, then take a taxi down to the marina, where we've got the boat waiting for a secret covert operation. It's kind of like a James Bond movie, except we don't have the sexy chicks in it, and we definitely don't have an action hero. I'm meeting up with my old fishing mates, Andrew Pass and Hazy. Pass, how are you, mate?
Good, buddy.
Good to see you. Ready for action? Good to see you, Hazy.
Jump aboard.
Right, let's do it. And we're firing up the Yamahas because we got 4 hours steaming all the way across to Bathurst. I'm so hanging for this trip. So, Pass, what's the plan?
So we'll head over to Bathurst Island.
Yep.
So we'll be staying out the front of the weather station there. We can get a tide change at 4 o'clock there to Sabo and hopefully get a few goldies for dinner.
Beautiful.
Which will be good. So we'll head out to Bathurst Trench
maybe
first
marlin.
night, and yeah, all going well. We might be able to raise a couple and hopefully, yeah, see a marlin, maybe a sailfish.
Well, we've caught marlin there before.
Yep.
I haven't even seen a sailfish in the territory yet.
Yeah, well, sailfish are more common than marlin there.
Open her up. I desperately want to catch a sailfish up here. They're one of the smaller members of the billfish family, but they're such beautiful fish, and when they fight, they're up in the air. It's awesome. You know, the great thing about sailfish, before you even hook them up, you see them, they come in, they attack your teasers, you put a bait down to them, you hook up, and then the fun starts. They're up in the air, they're cavorting around. They're just a great fish to catch. As we approach Bathurst Island, Pass decides to pull up on one of the little inshore reefs and do a bit of jigging. What are we doing, Pass? Where are we?
Yeah, we'll just pull up here, mate. We're just off Fort Croy, and we've got the tide change, so we've got a couple of good little goldie spots here. We'll drop a couple of jigs on and
push on, nice heavy head on there. Just bounce it to the bottom, eh, Pass?
yeah, that's right.
The key is when you're casting and jigging with soft plastics is you want to get the distance. So a good rod like my little Shimano Ballistic is perfect for the job. It doesn't take long and Hazy hooks up. But you know what? It wasn't what we were expecting.
Quite like a shark.
There's a bloody big mother-in-law. There's no way of saying this without offending someone. It's called a mother-in-law fish because it's the only fish you give to your mother-in-law. Now, the problem is that they've got ciguataria poisoning, so people are actually getting sick eating them. So don't get any ideas of actually giving one to your mother-in-law.
Look at it. Mate, you'd have to be proud of that.
Good start to the trip, Pass. So you're right to let it go there, you know, you guys are right. I'll let him go.
The steak's looking good. Oh yeah? Gone.
After going to the anchorage overnight at Tunganapu, we headed off in the morning to Bathurst Trench. Now this is a well-known hunting ground for billfish.
The trench, it's like a bit of a channel through shallow water. We've got shallow water off Bathurst Island and shallow water west of it. And so the trench runs sort of north-south, and it's obviously a thoroughfare for the billfish, and at least it gives us a chance to pinpoint them in the deep water.
Bathurst Trench is basically 20 kilometres long, it's 200 metres deep, but what makes it so special is it's the deepest water for probably over 100 miles around, and that makes it a magnet for the billfish that use it like an underwater highway. So if you want to find billfish, go to the trench. The best technique for catching sailfish is to run teasers. Now, teasers don't have any hooks in them, but what they do is attract the sailfish up to the boat because it looks like a school of bait. What we then do is right behind that, we have a bait with a hook in it. So they come racing up, they see the school of fish, and there's one little solitary one behind it, and that's the one they eat. Pot of sailfish or a single sailfish or a marlin, cruise along seas and goes, you ripper, it's a free feed for me. When it comes to catching sailfish, it can only be described as hours of boredom and minutes of mayhem. You know, and the problem is the whole time you've got to be watching the teasers to be on it. So you're always anxious, you know, did I miss a fish, did I not? You're just sitting there watching and watching. And then when they do come up, you sit there for a minute going, oh wait, no, yeah, oh there's a fish there. And then it's all action stations.
Got him. He had it the whole time.
It took us a few hours, but then suddenly the fish was up and Pass was straight into it. And all I could hear was his little Shimano sailor goes just screaming. So we got the bite. Pass, good work mate, spotted, comes up, little black shape.
Hasn't jumped yet. Here we go, she's on the surface, shaking her head. There we go. Here we go, she's on the surface, shaking her head. There we go. Just realised he's hooked on it.
How good is it when they do that? You think we travelled what, 150 k's out past, stayed the night in a creek, caught mother-in-law fish, all for that. You know what? I never get sick of seeing sailfish jump out of the water. There's something, they're so graceful the way they come out, and those beautiful colours, and of course that massive sail, they're always spectacular. And I think that's one of the reasons we love catching them. Every time I see a sailfish up close, they're always so beautiful, you know, they've got these brilliant colours, that iridescent, and of course the sail. The sail is massive on them, and they use that to round up bait. Have a look at that. What a beautiful fish. Once you get the sailfish to the boat, it's critical that you release it quickly, because, you know, they're fatigued from the fight, and to a certain degree they're stressed. So it's important that you get them back out and swimming fast. So it's action stations. Woohoo! So after going 1 from 1 on the billfish, we decided to end the day catching a fresh feed of golden snapper for dinner. Golden snapper master. Same, I think mine's slightly larger. It's a big one.
Oh, we'll give you a goldie for that. Rightio. Oh, you've redeemed yourself.
Woohoo!
If you clean every one of these snapper, I'll cook you a feast that you will never forget.
There's always a catch.
There's always a catch.
Golden snapper have to be, I reckon, one of the best eating fish. When Pass said that he'll take over the cooking, tell you, Hazy, I was impressed then. Now, Pass rates himself as a gourmet chef, and he had something really special planned for that golden snapper, the one that I caught.
Well, usually we have beer batter, but honestly, I go to Woolies and I buy like 20 packets at a time, but we must have done the last 2 packets last trip, so there's 20 packets of our backup coating
I can't
mix.
believe this. I went to all that effort, I caught those fish, and there's no beer batter.
Yeah, but look at it. Look how long that's been in the boat for. That is honestly, that's seasoned.
1942.
July 2015 is out of date.
I made that as a joke, mate. I didn't mean it as serious.
Hang on, it's 17th September 2015. That's closer. We'll get rid of that one. Chuck that in the bin.
You're filling with confidence. You've got this beautiful fish and we're out of
July 2015.
Now, as far as Pass's chefing abilities goes, let's just leave it at he's a bloody good fisherman.
Look at that. It's been a hard day, but we have come up. We've come up all right. We've got a billfish. We've got a handful of goldies.
Any billfish in the territory is a good day.
Yeah, we can't complain.
So after a fine dining experience, it's time to leave my mates behind because I wanted to catch what the Northern Territory is most famous for, a barramundi. And the best place to do it is the Daly River. The great thing about the Daly River is that it's just 2 hours out of Darwin. You're driving on bitumen for most of the way. It's a huge river with so much potential. Of course, it's not just the barra fishing, there's wildlife, and it's just an amazing spot. After driving through some dusty country, I arrived at this little oasis, the Daly River Barra Resort. Stu, good to meet you, mate.
Hey Al, how you going, mate? Nice to meet you too.
What's happening on the fishing front? Let's get straight down to it.
Well, a bit sporadic, but we'll go out and give it a go.
What made you pick the Daly? Let's face it, the territory's got some good rivers there.
Oh, the Daly sort of fishes all year round, so it's you can fish from middle of March all the way through. Fishing the Daly is a good experience. It's got a lot of different fishing spots in it. You can fish up to 50 k's down.
And there's heaps of crocs in here, eh? Now, what's the rules about jumping in for a swim?
The rules in the boat are if you fall in, I'm not coming in after you.
I like that, that's a good call. We're running about 40 kilometres downstream to Elizabeth Creek, and we're going down to meet the tide because that's when the barra are going to bite.
It's like anywhere fishing. If you're going to fish a turn of the tide, or you might as well stay at home.
Don't think you're the first one to park here.
No, I don't think I'll be the last either.
Mate, you want a hand with the anchor?
No, it's done. Thank you, Up.
So what's the plan?
It's Elizabeth Creek, so we're going to have a go at this for a bit of live bait at the moment. We'll probably put two hooks on the bottom and one on the top and see what happens.
When it comes to barra fishing, I've always been a lure fisherman. So when we pull up and Stu pulls out the bait rods, I was a little bit like, what's going on here? All right, now you have to show me the trick for this because I've never done it before.
Yeah, these things at Sherman, they're a freshwater prawn. So what we do, we don't want to kill them, we want to keep them alive. So the best way to keep them alive is you go to the third caliper along and go straight to the side. You don't want to come up and hit that poo chute in the back. Once you hit that, they die. And once they die, they're no good. And what'll happen is the barra will generally pick them up by the head, like that. And what they'll do is they'll swim off with them. So when they start to run, they'll pick it up and they start to run, let them go about a metre or so, just with a little bit of tension, then slowly put the weight on them. And what'll happen is they'll think they're slipping out of their mouth or so forth, and they'll swallow them, and they'll take them down tail first. They pick them up there and you strike, you pull the hook out of their tail, they get a free feed, or you get an empty hook, not the desired effect.
So you fished with me before?
Yeah, I've seen your TV. Right, so they just cast out in the middle out here. There's actually a deep gutter. That was a fisherman, I suppose. It's like anything he's doing. It's the first time he's ever fished with live bait.
Oh, yeah.
He done all right. He fed a few for a start.
And he just flicked them.
He spat you out. Yeah, catch and release program there. He was catching them, letting them go before they got to the boat. Saves me netting them, I suppose.
How cool is that? That's pretty, I'm impressed with that.
You see what he's done to it? He's come along and he's just grabbed hold of that by the head and he's just crushed it. The head's all just mush. And when you've hooked onto him, he's had it, you see him, he jumped, and then he just, quite simply just spat it out.
I gave him enough time though, didn't I?
Oh yeah, nothing was wrong except he was just smarter than us, which wouldn't be very hard at the moment, would it?
Hang on, you didn't tell me we were going to get smart fish. I thought these were dumb fish. How am I ever going to catch anything? Yeah, he's just picked up and not doing anything, but you can feel the bait carrying on.
There he is there. There's your bait right there.
Oop, it's coming up. Oh, I just missed him. I think I just pulled it out. He's blood. Oh!
Lucky I brought a few cherubin or we'd be going home early.
Oh, I see what you mean about frustrating. Coming up. Oh, it's croc eating something. What's he got? We encounter a monster.
It's a croc. There's a croc beside him with a head on it.
And I discovered what a real gourmet chef looks like.
I just thought I'd drop that in the middle there where you were fishing. It's called being competitive.
Not even in the water, and you've gone bang straight on my spot. That is my spot, by the way.
Is it? I can't see any sign over there. It's good to have someone on the boat who's competitive with you.
Oh, there he is. Got him this time. That's the biggest one.
That's the only one.
I like the sound of that. Look at that. Oh, yeah, this one, isn't it? Yeah, baby.
Nice and clean too. Watch when he jumps, he'll stick you out. The guy with old age trying to get him here out.
Working skill, I tell you.
How long's the show going on?
3 minutes.
Nice
Live bait barra.
Nice chrome barra too. Look, nice yellow tail.
Beautiful
saltwater
looking
barra.
fish. This. Now that is a good looking fish.
He's a saltwater barra.
These are something that's come up the river, isn't it? Stu might be the local guide, but I caught the first barra. And I tell you what, I wasn't wasting time. I was straight back out there for round 2. Here we go. Yep. Oh, McGlashan! He's still on. Oh, this is the biggest and the most. It didn't take long before the barra kicked into gear. Oh. Right the barra. Come on, baby. No way. Yeah. Oh, Mike. Yep. And it's a barra. 3-2. Oh, now that's an expert. Nice fish, mate. Well done.
Well, the fish came on right on cue, so it was good, and we had a good, probably good half an hour, 45-minute session there.
3 all. I'll have to net it.
Hey, don't knock it off the hook either.
Oh,
will you?
sorry, mate, didn't see
Yeah,
it.
you don't net them like that.
3 all.
3 all.
Tin ass.
Mate, it's just
I was
called,
looking so good.
It's called it's actually not called tin ass, it's actually called talent. But he's well hooked, your typical hook in the side of the mouth.
Yeah, it's
But,
good, isn't it? Yeah, even with live baiting, you can dehook them so easily, and they still, Well, I'm hating to admit this, but it's 3 all.
What's that mean? We get half a can each?
Yeah, we got to share the can. But I got to thank you for taking me out of here.
No, it's been good. No worries.
As soon as the tide changes over, so are the barra. Time to go. Oh, it's croc eating something. Have a look at that. Have a look at the croc. So we're cruising up the river and we spot a croc, a really big croc. But it's eating something.
It's a croc. There's a croc beside it with a head on it.
Is that what it is?
It's a freshwater croc.
Oh, it is too. He's eating another croc. Swimming in these waters is definitely not recommended. You're joking. Look at it. And he's got the head.
It's
amazing.
The other rest of it's in the
It's
water.
just sitting in the water there. How's that? Have you ever seen that?
Unbelievable.
I tell you, it's a dog-eat-dog world, isn't it?
Where are you going?
Oh, there he goes. Oh, he's a big fish.
Go on now.
Yeah, it's just the body sitting there, just under the bow here. Oh, there's not much. Have a look at it. Oh, it's not that small, actually.
There's a fair bit of it gone.
Yeah, it's not. I thought it was a smaller animal, but there's a bit of croc left. Not a lot of croc. Net it up there, Stu. The Northern Territory is such a unique place with such amazing wildlife. The only problem is they want to sting you, they want to bite you, and they want to eat you. Oh, it's not as small as you thought. He doesn't look too bad, unless he's just been chewing the crap out of it.
He's had a good old chew on it, but I don't think I'm going to do near that. See the marks of the bank there, where they are, whatever it was. It's
Yeah, look at
probably
it.
part of it where he's slapping it around, I don't know.
Throwing it around the poor bugger.
No, well, that's the last thing he'll do this week.
Welcome to the Daily River.
Welcome to the territory full stop.
I think we'll offload that because I bet you someone's watching us.
Sit down, make yourself comfortable, we'll head home.
I have to be honest, that croc didn't look that tasty to me. I was hanging to get back to Darwin, where that one barra I did keep was going on the menu. You know what? I couldn't think of a better way to finish my top-end fishing adventure than a night out in Darwin. G'day, mate.
Good day, sir. Welcome to the Hilton.
Now, where's the restaurant?
Right this way, sir.
Starving.
Brilliant.
Hoping to wipe the jaded memory of Pars's poor chefing attempt with his home-brand packet mix.
Yeah, but look at it. Look how long that's been in the boat for. That is honestly, that's seasoned. July 2015 and he's out of date.
I've recruited the help from the Hilton's head chef, Akash, to do something special with my barra. I said I'd catch you a barra Monday, but this is awesome. So what are we going to do with the barra?
Yeah, so we are going to make a fish head curry.
Yep.
So we'll just chop off the head and this doesn't get wasted because we're going to make stock. So that's the main part. So we need to just open it completely, make it into 2 pieces so we get all the flavors out from the bone. Start cooking with the curry.
Curry it is.
And the head part. 3 minutes and it's done. So let's get started with the curry now. The first thing we use is a mustard seed. You can see it.
Bubbling away in there, isn't it?
Yeah. Put in some red chilies.
Smell it now.
So now when it crackles, we just add a couple of bay leaves. And now we'll add some onions to it.
Oh yeah.
So cook the onions for around 2 or 3 minutes. Now it's time to add some ginger garlic paste.
What's next?
Well, let's add some tomatoes to it.
One of these?
Yeah. We won't use much of tomatoes, just 1 tomato is enough. Then let's go with spices.
One of those?
That's right. Just give it a good stir. And one thing, whenever you add turmeric to your curry, make sure it's cooked properly. Otherwise you get the rawness of the turmeric and that spoils the taste of your curry. So now we add some coriander powder, 3 teaspoons, that should be enough. So now we are getting a nice body for our curry.
So you need some salt?
We need some salt here.
I'm like
Just-
a makeshift chef.
Now we'll simmer the head.
So what's next?
So now we are going to add some stock in this.
Oh, this looks sensational.
So once we add the stock, we simmer it for 2 or 3 minutes. I think it's time to add some coconut cream in that.
Pour it in.
Pour it in. Wonderful. So another 2 or 3 minutes more, your dish is ready to go. Yeah, now we finish the dish with some fresh coriander.
Oh, that is
And I
beautiful.
like coriander.
Yep.
And we'll serve with some rice.
Some rice. So what, simmer it for a couple of minutes?
Just 3 minutes should be good.
Done. That's enough time for a beer.
I'll see you there.
Apart from the fish head curry, Akesh and his team of chefs served up a bunch of fancy dishes. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Dinner. Thank you, chef. Thank you, everyone.
And the best part is that all of this came off one fish, so nothing was wasted. Well, I tell you what, this looks sensational, but I need to test it first.
Go ahead.
Just need a little test run for it. Oh man, that is good. That is really good. This has been an awesome trip. And the best part is that I got to taste the best of the territory, both offshore and inshore. So do yourself a favour, get up to the Northern Territory. Stay, play and fish the top end with your mates.
It's claying barra too, look.
Here is to fishing with mates.
Cheers.
How big was it?
It was huge. It was about, hang on, I've got to reach in. It was about that big. Yeah, confidence. I'm full of it. Well, actually, I'm full of something. Oops. Sorry, Mum.
He's definitely different.
That's one very attractive mother-in-law.
Just suck them in a little bit out. Ready?
How you going purple, Al?
Well, it doesn't count then if you're not.
Oh, let's get a big one.